We entered a time of unprecedented anxiety after COVID, called an epidemic of anxiety. It was the lack of control, the fear, and the uncertainty that prevailed globally, but more so in America than in other countries. The United States has become consumed by anxiety, and one expert refers to it as a manufactured crisis. Well, what is anxiety? Anxiety is not a disease. It's a biological reaction produced by the activation of our fight or flight instinct. It's kind of like a defense strategy that the nervous system has to constrict or clench. When we see a tiger in our path, the body automatically puts us on heightened alert. The part of the brain called the amygdala orders adrenaline into our system, demanding survival response to run or fight or freeze. Anxiety is not really an emotion. When we experience anxiety, there's often another emotion underneath it, like fear. And what's interesting about emotions is that they only last about 10 to 20 seconds, and then they move through, if we allow them to. Another word for emotion is energy in motion. But when we are catastrophizing or conjuring up fears about the future, we send a false alarm through our nervous system. Our body thinks the threat is real. It doesn't know the difference between real or imagined fears. We get stuck in fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system mode. Nervous system dysregulation can keep us up all night worrying about everything, from our job, our relationships, mistakes we made in the past, global issues, etc. Even worrying itself causes us to lose sleep and become depressed. But worry isn't a real emotion either, because it's usually about things that will never happen. Anxiety doesn't improve with resistance or avoidance. There's a saying, what we resist persists. So we're just going to look at a few points about life that will help us to put uncertainty in perspective, because uncertainty is really the root of anxiety. So point number one is that it's a given that life is unpredictable and uncertain. So we should be more compassionate and forgiving of ourselves, not demanding perfection or trying to control everything, because that's impossible. Point number two is about relationships with others. You know, they've done studies about all sorts of things that create happiness and longevity. And of all the factors that they studied, like diet and genes and exercise and financial success, it's really the quality of our relationships with others that's the number one predictor of our happiness. When you experience anxiety, or really the underlying emotions underneath that nervous system mode, having a friend or a family member to whom you can openly share those emotions will make you feel better, but also deepen your emotional connection. And loneliness and social isolation is actually, they say, comparative to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's very detrimental to our well-being. So we need people, and we need to be connected emotionally to people. And then the third point is about spirituality. They have found that people that are spiritual have improved mental health and less anxiety because they can more easily accept uncertainty, the uncertainties of life. They're less concerned with material and physical things. They know that they're not the center of the universe and that they're not in control. They're humble. They believe in something beyond themselves to bring emotional peace, someone greater than themselves. So faith is really central to well-being. And there's a saying, why pray when you can worry? But what does worry accomplish? Absolutely nothing. Worry feels like you're doing something, similar to rocking in a rocking chair, but you're really going nowhere. Whereas prayer can put you in touch with a real sense of care and concern by our Creator, a source of strength and peace. Well, what are some practical things besides prayer that we can do if we are prone to anxiety? People who have anxiety often live in their heads. They've lost touch with their bodies, or introception, the ability to feel our inner landscape, our emotions, and our feelings. So we want to get back into our bodies and out of our heads. We could do that by breathing, perhaps several times a day. Just check in and make sure we're taking a deep abdominal breath. I say that you can't be anxious and breathe at the same time. Breathing actually will move us out of sympathetic nervous system mode into parasympathetic mode, rest and digest. If we can connect more with our bodies, with nature, with friends and family, with spirituality, we can develop trust, and we will feel more alive in the sense that we experience life rather than run from it or numb from it. So the nervous system is really the lens through which we experience reality, and the state of our nervous system and the degree to which we are in the mode of reactivity will completely dictate our experience of life. What are some signs that we might actually be running in a state of survival mode or anxiety? Lack of sleep, fatigue, relationship conflicts and challenges, burnout, brain fog, a health crisis. So the body's giving you feedback. It's just inviting you to look at places in your life where you are carrying tension, where you have not processed emotion. As we mentioned, emotions take about 10 to 20 seconds to process, but if we repress and suppress them, they can be stuck for a lifetime. And we can free up a whole lot of energy by doing like the impala, who after being chased by that lion or that tiger, he'll shake it off. So we can literally get into somatic body exercises or practices which allow the body to move and to release these emotions without having to relive them in our head. That's a beautiful thought. So there's so much available now that we're understanding the nervous system more, and the anxiety that we're feeling as a culture. It's not normal, although most people have a high degree of hyper-vigilance and they're under a lot of stress and they're using caffeine to keep themselves numb and keep going, or other things like that, we're just inviting you to get in touch with your body and to experience an inner calm and peace that is available to us, that really helps us unfold, the full unfoldment of who we are and what life can hold for us. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Diane Vanis, with 25 years in energy medicine. This is the Mind Talk podcast, where we delve into the roots of dis-ease, growing deep in the subconscious mind. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you.